Alright. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic. That's non-classic. This is episode number 1623 and Doubleshot number 1517. I have two more trades. First up is the finale for Ray for this run. This is Punisher Volume 3 Last Days, written by Lieutenant Amberson. And this is the end of his run. Yep. A run that started back, I believe it was 2014, I believe it was. Nathan Edmiston, excuse me. Yes, this actually is the end of his run for, not for Punisher per se, just this run altogether, because there actually is one other book that he did do. This run lasted from 2014 to 2015, only lasted like a little over a year. Anybody thinking, that's a bit of a surprise. Yes. This also kind of makes it the third book I've actually completed he wrote, because I've also covered his run for Black Widow and Deathlock. Yep. In this book, we pretty much are wrapping up pretty much everything related to his run. I've kind of talked about the last couple of issues already, thanks to, well, it's titled Last Days. I discussed those issues in the Last Days trade. Mostly for those last couple of issues, basically these issues, you basically have him wrapping up his run, where he's basically off at the crime boss, going off in L.A., getting confrontation with the Sam Willis to Captain America, which, by the way, that's where Shield comes in here. Aside from the fact he kills the crime boss, this gang leader who's of this Mexican cartel, aside from that, and like the appearance of the Sam Wilson and Captain America, and I believe also the Field Punisher from Greg Recker's one does briefly appear in this. Aside from that, like pretty much in the way you could definitely say, yeah, this is the end of Emerson's run. The way this ended, it seemed like though that was going to be it. And then all of a sudden, after Secret War, it's like, oh, we got published a Punisher book by a woman. Back going. The ending of this is okay. I give this one roughly a 9.5, at least a 9 out of 10. I definitely do think this is a decent conclusion to this run. Yeah, I do think it definitely is because, well, it had a great start to an okay middle and a pretty decent end to it altogether. Now, in the case of this run for Punisher, this is actually like one of the usual lengthier runs for Punisher. Is it the longest run? No, it isn't. Yeah, and you think, what about Rucka's run? Rucka's run was only just a 16-issue run that ended just a few years prior to this. Yep. And the Remender run, that was 20 minutes, just basically about the same length as that run, just one issue less. Yeah, that's the best way to describe this book, is that it's pretty much almost the same length. Like, I mean, in the case of volumes altogether for Punisher, Volume 2 is the longest. Yes. It is longer than a lot of the other volumes. It's by far, I believe, like the fourth longest volume of the series. You could say that, yes. Yes. Like, Volume 2 is the longest. Second longest is... Actually, no, it's not Volume 8. It's actually Volume 6. Actually, no, it's 7. 7's the sixth longest. Yeah. They have the Max run, which is not canon this thing. I mean, it just seems as though Marvel just half the time doesn't really care to publish this book properly at all. No, they don't. I know the reason for it, but that's simply what it is. Yep, but in the case of Emerson's run, it's all completely done. Yep. And I still have one more trade left to go for Becky Cohen's run. Yep, one more trade left. And that's it. Once I finish that run, I would have pretty much reviewed for Punisher from 2014 to present. Yep. Alright, moving on to a different book, we have Venom, the Complete Collection by Rick Remender, Volume 1. Now, in the case of this book, basically it does contain the first 12 issues of Rick Remender's run for the book, along with Venom / Deadpool What If. I've already discussed the first 9 issues already, so I'm going to skip over those. I'm going to talk about the last 3 issues and the What If issue. The last 3 issues, mostly put, are set up for the very historic road trip, where you have Flash Thompson on the road with Jack-o'-lantern, also stealing the bike that belongs to Captain America to go cross country. And him not want to talk to his girlfriend. Yeah, but all this 3-parter is set up for Circle 4. That's all this 3-parter is meant for. That's pretty much what it is. Yep. In the case of Venom / Deadpool, it's like, what if Venom became Deadpool? What if Deadpool became the host of the Venom symbiote? That's simply what it is. You could kind of say this laid the groundwork for Deadpool Black and Black, that miniseries. But this is a lot more violent than that. But the only reason why they threw this in here, because Rick Remender wrote it. That's the only reason I can think of. And those issues of this book, the artwork is done by Law Medina. And the What If issue, the artwork is done by Sean Moe. Yep. Yeah, I give some of the stuff I'm reviewing here a 9.5. It is really good. I thoroughly enjoy it. And my next comic corner, I will be concluding Rick Remender's run because I have the second trade on an app along with a Thunderbolts trade. I'll tell you exactly which one it is when I talk about it. Okay, so that's a particular review. Stay tuned for possibly for my review for Till of Darkness, the OVA, possibly if I get time to tonight. If not, I might do it tomorrow. Okay, next video. Bye.